I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
So, I teach 10th, 11th, 12th grade at a private school, but I've taught at public schools before. I taught 7th grade civics. And when I was teaching in public school, these children, we had great teachers, but they could only read at a 3rd and 4th grade reading level, right? But here I am. I teach 10th, 11th, 12th grade at a private school, and these students are excelling so much further. And I was like, it can't just be because it's a private school, right? Like, it can't just, like, the school's a school. So I began looking in, trying to figure out why these kids are doing so much better than these kids in public school. And I came up with a couple of reasons. And if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. This is just from a teacher's perspective. All right, number one, with private school, you have to pay to go there, so parents are more invested in their kids' education, right? When you don't really have to pay, you're not going to be that interested in it. When parents start getting as invested in their students' education as they are, I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference when parents are reading with their kids, when they're checking on their homework, when they're taking an interest. Number two, the school either lacks the funding to give correct support or doesn't give the correct support, all right? And this would mean like if classes have 30 students, you can't expect a teacher to be able to really spend time with specific students. Like my largest class in private school is 22, smallest class is 10. And with that size, it's so easy to sit around and talk to each student because I don't have as many. And three, this one gets me a lot of flack for saying this, but we need to stop adapting the education to the student and start allowing the student to adapt to the education. Children want to be challenged, right? I get everyone learns different. There needs to be some accommodations. But when I was in public school, they were handing out IEPs like they were candy. They were just, you get an IEP. It was an Oprah episode. You get an IEP. And I'm not saying that there's not children who don't need IEPs or accommodations like 504s. But what I am saying is that when you take that challenge away from the student, they're not going to excel. And in private school, they don't have IEPs. They don't really give accommodations. So the student has to work harder. And that's kind of how it was when I was growing up. There were IEPs, but they just didn't hand them out willy-nilly, right? A few kids had them. But most of us, we just was like, all right, we don't know it. Well, we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to be adaptive. And four, we're living in an age where there is an exceeding amount of screen time, and these kids are being exposed younger and younger to screens, which is throwing their focus off. I was reading a report about CoComelon, that CoComelon is horrendous for children because it creates an addictiveness for their minds. They hop from one thing to the next. And I was even asking my students, and these are 10th, 11th, 12th graders, I was like, so how many of y'all watch TikTok more than 2 hours a day? Most of them raised their hands. I said, how many of y'all can watch a 15-minute YouTube videos without stopping? Most of them said they can't. They have to take a break. They have to go watch another video. They have to do something. And that's because this screen time is messing with our ability to focus. So these are the 4 reasons I have found that students are doing so horribly. Tell me what you think.